Hi everyone, it's been a while since I made a fashion related video. I definitely want to make much more like fashion design students related videos because I know that's what probably most of you have subscribed to my channel for. So those will be coming up. I'm going to be posting a lot of my old sketchbooks on my channel as well, A-level, GCSE, and also my university sketchbooks, so keep a lookout for that. And if you're new to my channel, hello. Today I'm going to be talking about mood boards because that's like something I learned at university, and I really honestly wish that I learned about it beforehand because it's just such a versatile thing. I think mood boards are really fun, and I think Pinterest is a really exciting way in which you could make a mood board about anything because it literally is like a mood board. It's a digital mood board. So I think starting off, it really depends on what you're doing. If you're doing a project or whatever your theme is, you want to kind of underline that because that's what all the images and all the information that you collect is going to rely on. So you want to have a concept, whatever that concept is. I will show you a few of my mood boards that I've done. So I had a concept which was Las Vegas, so my mood board was fully based on Las Vegas. I had another one which focused on like Japanese and Chinese indigo, so there was another mood board on that. Let me think of another one, like Aboriginal and ethnic art. That was another theme of mine. So that's how I kind of start, is of course the concept. You can make mood boards, you don't have to have a concept. You can make like mood boards just with your inspiration on it. It doesn't have to be a theme. But for fashion design students, I think if there's like a specific way that you want to branch into, I think it does sometimes make it easier to look for imagery. Sometimes you might work backwards, you might already have the images that you've either taken or that you found, as in, you know, you could have taken them yourself or got off the internet. So have a theme, have a concept, and then, or you could just have pictures and then make a concept. After you've done that, you want to start collating research. So that could be any form of research, that can be videos, articles, journals, photographs, anything. And these don't have to be things on the internet. There is a world beyond the internet. This can be that you have personally collected, they can be things off the internet as well. And then you want to kind of start to put it together. This I think can be quite difficult. Once you have all that information together, you want to choose the right format to present that information, and this can often determine exactly how your mood board is going to look visually. So you might find that there are only 3 or 4 images or, you know, texts or whatever it is that you find works well together. You want to kind of just lay it out. You might actually print out those images and lay it out on your table or another bit of paper. You might do it on the internet. There are lots of websites that you can use to actually format mood boards. If you just type it into Google, you will find many. I like to use Photoshop. I know a lot of design students use Photoshop. So that's the way that I go about it. And then you can start putting your images together, see what works, see what doesn't work. And you can even like pick out colours that you really like from your mood board as well. I think the more images you have, the more kind of tricky and more like busy it becomes. It can kind of take away your focus from certain images. I showed you the one from Las Vegas, the project I did, but Las Vegas is so busy that it does work, I feel. Some mood boards I feel wouldn't work if it's really about the white space and being very minimal, and then if your theme is minimalistic and then you put a ton of images and it just looks really busy, I think it takes away from your theme. I personally love white space, but it depends on the theme. If it's a project and you're at school, I would definitely suggest showing your tutors because everyone visually has a different way of laying things out. You could even ask a friend, you could ask your parents, you could ask anybody, even your peers in your class. Just ask them what they think. Everybody thinks differently, and that could have an effect as to, you know, what you think as well, because you might be a bit confused as to one image or the other or both, you know. What I love the most about mood boards is that you can pick out colours, which I just briefly touched on. So you can actually use a tool in Photoshop to pick out exact colours. If you don't have this, then you can also use like Pantone references to kind of match colours as perfectly as you possibly can. If not, you can just simply zoom into that picture and take a little screen capture of the actual colour. Or you can just make up your own colours, I guess, and use like gouache paints and try and match it. The only problem with like digital mood boards is that the colours are not going to be exact on screen. So when you print something out and you pick out the colours from the images, it can look completely different to what it was on screen. So that's definitely something to be aware of. I think that doing things very like physical, as in having the products and things like in front of you, is quite useful, but sometimes people just don't have the access to that. If you want to add text, you always can. On a lot of my mood boards, as you have seen, there has been text because it's been about a fashion concept. So you can see the colours, you can see the themes and the ideas and the photographs, but there's also concept just in case the reader is confused, and it also introduces my project. If your mood board is not something that requires text, then you don't need it on there if it's really obvious. If it's not obvious and you feel like whoever is going to be reading it, marking it, whatever, they don't know what it is, I think it's quite a useful thing to put text, but again, it depends on your project, depends who it's for. And finally, if in doubt, just ask someone for their opinion. This is quite a creative thing. There's no right and wrong to a mood board. When you're studying, I feel like people always think there is a right and there is a wrong, but there actually really isn't. I just think it's about visually making it appealing, visually getting your message across. So whatever your theme is, I think that's the message you want to get across. And as I mentioned, with my example of it being like a minimalistic project, if you're putting too many images on there and it becomes very busy looking, I think you're taking away from the actual theme and it's a bit confusing. So those are some of my tips for a mood board, a fashion mood board. I think Pinterest is a great way, but I think having actual like physical things that you can photograph, I think it's really, you really are seeing it in person and it's way more interesting, but sometimes you just don't have access to those things when you're trying to focus on maybe like mountains or something. You might not live near mountains, So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought, and I will see you guys very, very soon, where I will be sharing with you some of my other sketchbooks. So I will see you very soon. Bye!